Good morning, children. AsselConsulting.com. I didn't do the intro because I do have to get going here inevitably. But we got a lengthy one involved, so buckle in, pause this, pour yourself a drink, and get comfy because this is a little bit more lengthy and deep. Hi, Aaron. The people of the lie. Critical race theory is the view that the law and legal institutions are inherent. Okay, it's not a view. It's not a theory. Critical race theory is basically very well-dressed theft. It's euphemistic theft. It's nothing but lazy people, and I've talked about this before. It's not race. It's critical trait theory, because feminists use this as well. People who claim to not be straight, like if you're non-binary, mental health, religion, any trait or a belief. A trait you were born with, a belief you just, I believe, is highly sought after and put in critical fill-in-the-blank theory, because the whole point and purpose is to claim you have a trait, and that trait is oppressed or disadvantaged by other people with not that trait or belief, and therefore you are entitled to other people's shit. That's all it is. It's naked theft. They think they're being clever. I understand where your average normie, conforming, inferior population. Look, it's Sunday. You know what the idiots are doing? The idiots are watching sports ball because the guy throw the ball good. Money printer go burr, print off more. I mean, the normal people and the dumb people they'll swallow it because they're truly stupid. But if you're just slightly intelligent, I don't care what they call it, it's theft. I don't want to work for a living. I want other people to pay for my shit. I'll come up with any excuse. Oh, this is convenient. A way I was born. I don't have to work at being white or having a penis. Therefore, other people who aren't white or don't have penis or both are oppressing me. Give me their money. That's all this is. So we could talk critical race, but I'm sure you swap out gender theory. It's the same thing. So let's not over academia it. Let's not over academize it. It's not an academic study. This isn't intellectual. This isn't clever. This isn't smart. This is basic bitch theft. This is a scam. This is a con artist. But it's working real well. It's working real well because all the normies, conformities, and fears like, oh my God, yeah, I'm probably racist, not knowing, so yeah. Critical race theory is the view that the law and legal institutions are inherently racist, that race itself is a socially constructed concept that is used by only white people to further their economic, political interests at the expense of people of color. You could swap out male, female here too, any trait, fill it in. Racial inequality emerges from the social, economic, and legal differences that white people create between races to maintain elite white interests in labor markets politics, giving rise to poverty and criminality in many minority communities. No, it's you have more kids than you can form, you commit crime. Don't have more kids than you can afford, don't commit crime. Problem would be solved. It's just an abdication of responsibility too. But yeah. Woke religion, a secular religion based on the anti-racism ideology. That's such a euphemism to call it an ideology. Theft is not ideology. It's just give me free shit. That's it. By critical race theory has metastasized like cancer everywhere in the American culture. Academia, government, businesses, schools, news organizations, charities, associations, clubs. Apparently all civil society are now infected with woke religion. Here are a few of the many examples of the woke infection. The American Psychological Association issued a lengthy statement about what its president, Sandra Schulman, calls the racism pandemic in the United States. It's not the first time the APA has claimed the existence of such a pandemic. May I also point out, the APA point out that masculinity was toxic. Do you see how this has, it has to do with race in this particular application, but we're talking traits. You guys got to understand this. To understand the cancer, you need to understand its nature. It's not about just race. It is a trait. And the American Psychological Association went on a tear against men. Gillette went on a tear against men. Now they're going on a tear against, in this particular case, white people. In a hyperbole-laden statement released just after the killing of George Floyd in May, Schulman said, if you're black in America, especially if you're a black male, it's not safe to go birding in Central Park, to meet friends at Philadelphia Starbucks, to pick up trash in your front of your home in Colorado or to go shopping almost anywhere. All right, this woman's delusional. At Sandia National Laboratories, a government-funded agency, executive management required employees to undergo sensitivity training, write letters of apology to fellow Black employees, attend single struggle sessions, contribute money to Black Lives Matter, and report anyone critical of the goals or objectives of the training to the HR department. Well, that's when you leave. Objections to the training as a violation of the Hatch Act, a federal law prohibits government agencies from using government resources for political purposes, are ignored. The Coca-Cola Company is training its North American employees in woke religion using an internally developed social justice action plan known as Allyship Guidebook 1.0. Well, that's going to sell off the shelves. Actually intended to combat systematic racism in the company and society. The Allyship Guidebook is actually indoctrination. Employee compliance is mandatory. The real mission is power and control over what employee thinks, says, and does. Employees are required to call out racism anytime they see anything that could possibly be construed as racism. Failure to report on others is viewed as failure to be a good employee. Students at Cooper Junior High in Wiley, Texas, were given a homework assignment comparing police officers to slave owners and the KKK. The assignment aimed to serve as a discussion on the First Amendment rights and racial equality protests across the nation during 2020, but critics claimed the assignment was intended to indoctrinate students. Gladwine Elementary High School, located in Lower Merion School District, Pennsylvania, one of the richest in the nation, will require 4th and 5th graders to read Not My Idea, a book about whiteness, which claims that white people who relate to police officers or decline to watch the news are complicit in racism. The curriculum also assigns a kid's book about racism to kindergarten and first graders and informs them that white people are inherently racist. Well, look, I keep asking, where are the parents and where are the fathers? And after doing research for how not to become a millennial and seeing how non-participatory fathers were, either because the mom admittedly divorced them, the father was deadbeat, never around, or the fathers were present, but nothing's too good for my little prince or princess, and they don't take a vested interest in the children's education. And like, well, I can't homeschool my kid. I'm just going to, or like have a conversation with their kids. I mean, you saw what happened to millennials, right? No parents care to actually raise, instruct, or teach their kids, well, forget life skills, but independent and genuine critical thinking skills. Say, yeah, that's propaganda, that's lies. Or just have the simple self-respect. No, they're lying, kid. And to explain to their kid, yeah, the world's got a mental, or the United States has a mental illness. It's hate on whitey this week. It was hate on men last week. Lord knows what group it'll be in the future. But, you know, you talk about elementary and high school. I thought, did you guys vote these people out of the school board? No. Reported by the mainstream media has been routinely deceitful, dishonest, and deceptive about looting, rioting, and burning by woke SJWs for the past 4 months in American cities. A recent commentary editorial noted the following: despite 3 consecutive months of near-daily episodes of violence, vandalism, and harassment in American streets, the left still has no idea how to talk about this phenomenon. We're told that the civil disorder in American cities is by and large peaceful in nature. We're told that the very notion that organized mobs are laying waste to American streets is the product of an elaborate right-wing misinformation campaign. When the left deigns to acknowledge its existence, we're told that the violence is an indictment of our decrepit democracy. Ultimately, though, the message of the left and their allies in the media may end up settling on is the one trotted out by ABC News on Tuesday morning: the perpetrators of violence have betrayed the cause of social justice. Following an investigation, this is a quote, following an investigation, ABC News concluded that a string of fatal and non-fatal confrontations are not directly linked to peaceful civil disobedience. It apparently did not occur to ABC's editorial staff that fatal confrontations tend not to result from peaceful anything, but we soon learned that this convoluted sentiment was only a setup to another, somehow more tortured resolution. Quote, some of the deaths have allegedly been perpetrated by suspects with their own agendas that do not include social justice. This is social justice, by the way, just means theft. It just means people have it better than me, usually because they worked harder, though admittedly sometimes there's bad luck. That happens too. And I want everybody to pay so I don't have to work as hard as those people who have it better than me. That's most of social justice. I fucked up. Those people didn't fuck up. It's not fair that I'm now a single mom with 5 kids and I can't afford them. Give me those people's money. I cannot explain that enough. What social justice, critical X theory, most of academia and the social science, it's just rationalizing taking other people's money. That's it. That's all this is. Woke religion has infected science with a form of Lysenkoism, the failed communist doctrine of the inheritable of acquired characteristics that flourished during the Soviet Union under Stalin. Lysenko, who was a guy, asserted that all science is class-oriented in nature. More than 3,000 mainstream biologists were dismissed or imprisoned, and numerous scientists were executed in the campaign to suppress scientific opponents. The president of the Agricultural Academy, Nikolai Vavilov, who had encouraged Lysenko, was sent to prison and died there while Soviet genetic research was effectively destroyed. Researching and teaching in the fields of neuropsychology, cell biology, and many other biological disciplines were harmed or banned. Subsequently, Lysenkoism has come to be identified as any deliberate distortion of scientific facts or theories for purposes that are deemed politically, religiously, or socially desirable. That's true. That's happening. I mean, look at these. You have to get published in PhDs, but when you come out with something that doesn't fit the leftist narrative, it won't get published. Much of woke religion is based on claims that can be shown demonstrably to be lies. For example, the claim that the police are waging a violent genocide against black men. In his book, Hate Crime Hoax, Wilfred Riley, a black academic using FBI and Bureau of Information Statistics, concluded that the total number of people shot by police officers was under 1,200 in 2015, and that 76 of the individuals shot were not black. The total number of black men killed by police was 258, and the total number of unarmed black men shot was 17. The percentage of police black shooting victims was slightly higher than the overall black percentage in the United States, 13 to 14%. And this disparity is wholly explained by the fact that the black violent crime is 2 times that the white rate. The most intelligent among the woke are well aware that their religion is based on a web of self-serving lies. Yes, this is the devils and the dupes. They know exactly what they're doing. And they think they're so clever because they're on IQ 120 Island. And they can. Let's be honest. The Democrats got half the population believing they'll just print off more money. And it's those evil rat bastards over there. I mean, if you are so dumb, you can't get over envy and jealousy. You're going to waste your life stewing, being inactive, taking no action, damning you, not only to forever be in your situation in life, but then also to piss away and waste all of your life. And you just like, oh, they told me what I wanted to hear. So, okay, I won't take action on my own to improve my lot or avoid making mistakes to like actually achieve, like I can do something tangibly to achieve that. No, the Democrat Party has half the fucking population believing, just sit there, we'll take care of it. And God Almighty, don't do anything. Ladies, you want to close the wage gap? For God's sake, don't major in STEM. Blame it on men. All right. Minorities, Hispanics, and blacks, American Indian. Ignore Asians and Jews. Ignore them. They don't count. Oh, it's those white bastards that make all it. And the fact, this is one of the things where I become a misanthrope, yet at the same time, almost I get not a tear, but a steam of what would have been a pure just go, where it's like that many millions, billions of people's lives over time are just wasted, just letting life happen to them instead of going out and say, okay, I'm not going to have kids I can't afford. I'm not going to major in stupid stuff. I'm going to spend less than I make, and I'm going to go enjoy my life. And instead, people like, well, here, let me give you a tragic example. Well, I'm not going to shed a tear over her death, but this is tragic. Summer something. There was this young lady. She went out in I-5 in Seattle and was protesting Black Lives Matter. White girl, by the way. If you didn't notice, most of Black Lives Matter is white kids from the suburbs who have privilege up the yin-yang and all majored in the liberal arts. And they're going to solve this by blocking interstates, not telling your fellow black man, hey, join the military, do something, get this, and then, okay, no, we'll get a drink later. Yeah, you like cigars? I got a good cigar place. Okay, I'll see you later. No, it's delusionally standing out on the highway and blocking it. That somehow is going to help out your fellow man. She was 24, 25. She had an okay look to her. You could see she was a pretty tatted up, shaved head. Okay. She got hit by a truck or car and she's dead. Well, what the hell was that life about? What was that? I mean, and what little life she did get to experience, because I don't think she was above 25, what was it? Living the gutter punk lifestyle in Seattle? Was it like getting all tattooed because Having zany haircut and tattoos, that gave you value. I've been doing research for my seminar coming up with the Rule Zero guys about return on investment on the pursuit of women. And so you have to look at what the percent of women are marriageable. I started delving into tattoos and body modification and body mutilation, and the soullessness. No, that's the wrong word. The void, the emptiness, the nothingness, the worthlessness that these gals, if you go, it's like one tattoo is this, two tattoo, three or more, no, four or more, then it was really funny. It's not funny. It's sad. So if you got four or more tattoos as a woman, they report highest levels of self-esteem, body positivity, confidence, And this feminist article was shot. See, women with four or more tattoos, they got body positivity and confident, And then I found the study right below it. They are also 5 times more likely to commit suicide than women with less tattoos. And it's just this void where you fill it in with tattoos, crazy hair color, body modification, body mutilation, but above all else, politics of envy and greed, wokeness, and it is a cancer because it just destroys you. There's nothing to live for. It's just all jealousy and rage and hatred of other people who didn't do a damn thing to you. And you can't face up to the fact, well, I'm a lazy fuck. And I'm sure if we looked at Summer, she didn't major in anything worthwhile. We're sure if you look at your average poor person, be you yellow, black, or white, they are children in the sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. You look at the majority of poverty across all types of people, having more kids than you can afford is the number one cause. No, let's not tangibly improve our situation. Let's not actually make changes that will improve our situation. Have candid conversations via the Father. We don't need no fathers to help future generations of all people. We can't do that. We have to have this woke culture because it protects our feelings. It makes us not look in ourselves and see that absolute absence, that void of nothingness where I'm a freaking nobody. And so I'm going to define myself by what other people have that I don't and fill it with rage. I mean, you can, not seminar, my book, essay, Sanity is the Future of Wealth. It's coming out to be available to the public. It was available for free. No one read it. So, okay, now you get to pay. That'll be coming out. Read it. These are not happy people, obviously. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, but that's what I was saying. You're saying the people who are cognizant of what they know exactly what they're doing. They're vile, evil people who know that they could do this to a population of people, not to mention disadvantaged people. It's just no soul to these people, but the rest of them are just sheep, just NPC sheep, as they've been programmed to be. And also thinking the brilliant coup d'etat of the left is you got the sheep to think they're actually independent-minded people. The more intelligent among the woke are well aware that their religion is based on a web of self-serving lies. They will do anything to protect their beliefs. I don't even think they believe it. Like if you look at Robert Reich, I was kind of saddened by him because he's an economist and he's just literally tweeting. This guy's like 70-some years old. He's a true boomer. And he's tweeting out, just tax the rich, tax the rich. Look at how much Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk made. Tax the rich. And he knows that, wait a minute, those are capital gains in stock prices. Elon Musk just can't dump. Like, let's say you want to tax Elon Musk, take 90% of his wealth. Well, Elon Musk can't just sell however many billions of dollars in Tesla stock he has. First, you need another billions of dollars on the counter side of that trade where someone will buy it. Well, good luck finding that. Second, if Elon Musk starts selling his shares, what's going to happen to the price? It's going to tank. Why is Elon selling? Oh, because we're forcing him to. Because Robert Reich said, Robert Reich knows this. He knows these numbers, they put all their worth, X billions of dollars, but that doesn't mean they could get cash for it. They can't liquidate that. This guy knows that. He doesn't care. He still lies to the people who plays on envy. Robert Reich is one of the most despicable piece of people. I thought Paul Krugman was the economist who just tells the lies so he knows he can make money and doesn't believe what he writes. Robert Reich, right there, buddy. Holy cow, you are a despicable man. How many millions of people who follow him like actually believe his crap? More intelligent among the woke, they'll do anything but the woke. The woke accuse those who disagree with their dogma guilty of thought crimes that are thrilled by acts of violence known as punching up. Critics are viciously attracted and silenced by malevolent and malicious SJWs in the name of woke religion. No one is allowed to criticize the woke canon or its faithful followers. Woke religion is hate religion. Their vision is a boot stomping on a human face. Yes. What motivates the adherents of woke religion? Laziness. Yes. I would also say envy, jealousy, and greed. Perhaps I'd even say indoctrination. I mean, keep in mind, let's say you're a young, poor black kid. You think that kid ever gets an alternative theory as to why his family and him are poor? I mean, every once in a while, I'll get, we get a black client on here over at Asshole Consulting, and it will take something like the mom threatening to disown the child because one time the young black man wanted to go to college and she would lose Section 8 housing. The other time, the other young black man wanted to go in the military. Mom would also lose Section 8 housing. Different families. And then there's been a handful, although this isn't just relegated to any one race, where parents will take their kid's credit card, or sorry, social security number and run a credit card. It takes something shocking like that to wake them up to start thinking about, like, wait, have I been lied to my entire life? Yeah. But if your entire life is all indoctrination, you don't know any better, especially when it starts when you were born. So laziness, yes, for some, but also it could just be pure lies and indoctrination. A steady diet of lies. You're going to conclude what is also going to be a lie or a falsehood. Perhaps something far more fundamental, something known as the will to meaning. The concept of will to meaning was developed by Viktor Frankl in his book, The Unheard Cry for Meaning. The will to meaning is really a specific need to not reducible to other needs, and is in greater or smaller degree present in all human beings. The relevance of the frustration of this need was documented by a case material concerning neurotic and depressive patients. The will to meaning is particularly strong in young people. A survey of 7,948 students at 48 colleges, 78% selected finding a purpose and meaning to life was their highest goal. Well, that's because they're not they're not dwelling in the lower needs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They're spoiled little kids going to college, living off of taxpayer money or their parents' money or both. Like, yeah, you give me food. You know what I was thinking about when I was poor? Food, clothing, and shelter. I didn't have lofty thoughts like this. Didn't have the time to afford it. But yeah, if I'm a privileged little kid over in the liberal arts college, oh my God, well, I'm so knowledgeable. I'm 18. I know everything. Finding a purpose and meaning in life was their highest goal, while only 16% making a lot of money. Another survey of 171,000 students, the highest goal held by 68% was developing a meaningful philosophy in life. People do not need the truth. People need meaning. And when the truth collides with meaning, then the truth dies in darkness. Yes, they will always choose meaning over truth, especially if seeking the truth takes effort. Dude, what do you think? How can I put it? Take any Condé Nast, Boldy, Slate, women's website production. All they got to do is tell women what they want to hear. That takes no effort. Now, try and be me or any non-leftist economist and say, you got to spend less than you make. You got to do it's tough love versus easy love. Carrot or stick. Cake or work. It takes absolutely nothing to like, oh yeah, here's meaning in a box. Vote this way. Say these things. Virtue signal. But don't do any work. Don't do anything tangible for society. Yeah, I could totally see where meaning trumps truth every time. Well, not every time, but most of the time. Truth dies in darkness. The result is self-deception. History is riddled with religions and movements and sects and cults that detest facts and react violently to defend their revealed dogma. Yeah. Galileo, anyone? A simple example, Galileo had constructed his telescope to show how the earth revolved about the sun and not the sun about the earth. Galileo now had proof with his telescope. When he demonstrated this, many highly intelligent people even refused to look through the telescope, so frightened were they of what they might see. Consider feminism is a perfect example. You're 38, you're my generation. You're a woman, you're frozen your eggs, you can't find no man. Those gals have so invested in that dogma, using that word correctly for I think the first time in my life, in that ideology, they can't give that up. They have to not need no man, fish, bicycle. They can't look at the fact, say, well, if I just hit the gym, it was nice, I might have a loving husband, some kids, I might be filled with joy, not begging for some sperm to go into an in vitro fertilization process so I could get my test tube baby. Consider the following quote by Alan Wheelis, adapted from his book, The Way We Are, an apt description of the woke. What it is to be a human being is not clear at all, but deeply shrouded. We have the ability to deceive ourselves. We arrange not to know our nature, not to see what we are up to. Our self-deceptions are so dense, piled on so thick, like layers of paint on a canvas already painted, layer after layer, laid on from school and pulpit and lectern and TV and internet. Well, this is good. I might read this. The Way We Are. That's a great quote right here. From school and pulpit and lectern and TV and internet, that it is all but impossible to break through to get a clear view of what we really are. Behind our loudly professed values of freedom, justice, and equality lies a propensity to violence far stronger and far deeper than is known to any of us, even the most cynical. It is all but invincible, invades every bedroom, corrupts what we call love. We indulge in vast hypocrisies, flagrant and subtle, to conceal ourselves from this destructiveness. We are, in fact, largely the opposite of what we think we are. Yep. All right. Now we get to the questions. Will woke religion become so interwoven into American government, civil society, and culture that America becomes the first woke nation? It already has happened. It has already happened. In How Not to Become a Millennial, I make the point that the government, starting, gosh, almost 40 years ago, probably 50 years ago, has made an official state religion. And you could call it socialism. In your case, you call it wokeness. There's different flavors, feminism, environmentalism, regular old boring socialism, whatever it is. It's basically, it's not your fault and you're entitled to other people's money. That's what it. Oh, and by the way, as more recently under the millennials, it is your politics that gives you all your value. And I try and point out to young people who read this book, you're just fine being an accountant. You don't have to be an accountant and vote left. You're just fine being a doctor. You don't have to be a doctor and an environmentalist. In serving society by being a doctor or an accountant, you're doing things good. But young people, especially millennials and post, have been thoroughly inculcated into thinking that they only have value, they only have a soul, they only have purpose and meaning in life if they believe in this subscribed religion, whatever variant of socialism or environment or crusaderism, as I like to call it. They're already fully vested in it. And so yes, already we are. It's just a matter of time until enough of the old boomers, conservative, whatever boomers remain, and other renegade Gen Xers like me who didn't like, but Bill Clinton played the saxophone real good. Once we die off, you will have a fully indoctrinated community, and only a very small minority of true independent-minded people will remain. Everyone will subscribe. Dude, you got a razor company, Procter & Gamble's more than a razor company, hating on men. Like, you got, choose your poison. You provided many other instances below. You got government agencies saying white people are bad or males are bad. I forget which variation of critical X theory we're talking about. The absurdity of all, and it's official, it's canon, it's established. This is policy, your education system. And again, to show you how most people are going to bend over back. No one's going to stop it. Today, it's Sunday. I think the Raiders are playing something. They're playing another team. Across the nation, millions of dumb white guys are watching, no matter how much the NFL hates men, and they hate white guys or white people. Oh, by God, watch my sports ball. Why? They too, like the poor gal that got clobbered on the highway, have a void. They have no value. Their value, their God, is cheering on a group of guys that belong to a club wearing a certain pattern color of jersey. None of which are probably from, I think the Raiders are LA? No, not LA. Are they in Vegas? No. It's a false god. They have no value. They're fat losers that their pinnacle, their achievement in life is watching the game, which they're not even executing. It's other genuine athletes who are doing the amazing stuff. No, don't like sports ball, but you got to admit that's some pretty amazing things they're doing physically. But these dopey guys will get lectured by there will be commercials today. There will be commercials. you people better wake up to your racism. And they'll put it more flowery and polite than that. But it's basically, hey, you white people better check your racism, accusing the entire white race of racism, which it's not, which is just absurd. So it has become, yes, we are the first woke nation. I'm sure the rest of Europe and Western nations will follow. Will the philosophy, culture, literature, etc. of Western civilization simply fade away? Yeah, it's already been eroded away. It will fade away. Way off in the future, depending on how much of a was it sponging or cleaning, scrubbing of the internet and books that people in the future will do, removing any physical evidence or digital evidence of alternative points of view. They'll scrub it so that in the future, like I'm talking like how we look at the Roman Empire now, we're like, well, why did they collapse? Well, you got Ephesius or whatever his name was, Titus, some guy wrote some books. They might be able to piece it together, some logic. Well, what the heck? Why they're going to look at it like this mental illness? Like, why did one group of people actually believe they were like oppressing somehow another group of people when they plainly weren't? Why did they just give it up? Why? And they won't understand the nuances and indoctrination and political programming. It may be Eastern culture through recording that just speaks candidly and bluntly and politically incorrectly about Western. Eastern historians studying Western history, they will probably keep a more accurate historical account of what happened to Western civilization. Say, well, they were on the moon in 1969, and then by 2069, it was a disaster. It was a hellhole. What happened? 1,000 years later, Chinese philosophers, stable cultures that hopefully will still be around in the future, will say, no, this is what happened. We observed it from the outside. We weren't in the asylum. As the faithful of traditional religions, Christianity, etc., dwindle in the number and fade away in the culture, will secular woke religion step in to the religion void as the new? Absolutely, it already has. Dude, there's very few legit Christian churches anymore. The Pope is a communist. And you go into any modern day church, they're throwing away whatever religious principles they've had so they can be woke. They can allow gay, bi, non-binary, which I'm for, but it ironically contradicts what they've been teaching this entire time. And then also, I don't go to church, but I got enough friends who would try to go to church, and Jesus, which if you didn't know was supposed to be the main guy, world of Christianity, he really is second or third to social justice warrior, socialism, and feminism. Well, we got the women of God. So that's a dead branch. There's very few branches of Christianity that are allowed. Judaism is also being corrupted, and Islam. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you Muslims out there know, they're coming for you too. This is coming for you because I've already seen it happen. I'm not talking people leaving the religion of Islam because they just don't believe it anymore. But they will, predominantly through feminism, they will woke you guys up too. Because you're aligning, generally speaking, with feminism and socialism to take down Western civilization, or at least to be antagonistic towards it. What do you think throwing your lot in with those vile people are going to do to the traditions and the traditionalism and the tenets of Islam? Don't worry, you'll get corrupted too. So yeah, basically, how much time do you spend at mosque or synagogue or church versus how much time do you spend in the temple of socialism, which is called public schools, K through college? Which religion do you think they're going to come out of with it? Will woke religion successfully infiltrate? Oh, we already did that one. Wait, don't know the number. Will woke religion successfully infiltrate traditional religions and replace God with the social justice warrior agenda? Yeah, already said so. It has. Using the Democrat Party as the proxy for state power, how will woke religion change America? Well, it already is through policy across all of our main institutions, be it corporations, government, universities, schools, education system, even social media. But even on so there would be policy. You see now genuinely sexist, racist policies, choosing people over their color of their skin instead of their content of character. Oh, that's officially ordained in many companies' hiring policies. It's sanctified by the government. I don't want to even go into tax policy. Your colleges and education, that will train the future generations of more and more woke kids. But how it will fundamentally change America is on the granular level. And you can see that on social media, where every young person today is just like, oh my God, I so care about black people. Really, do you? Or are you just saying that? I do. That's why I'm voting for you guys to pay more money. I can't, it's not all that common, but it happens. I can't imagine being a father of a white daughter. You know, if I was white, my wife was white, and here's my daughter. She comes back and starts lecturing me about how I'm sexist, and I gotta be like, get the fuck out of my household. That's how it's going to happen, is on the granular level. Everybody's going to have this new religion, this new point and purpose in life, and they're going to throw away any other kind of point and purpose in life, because usually that takes effort. You know, you can't just go become a Jew. You got to study catechism. You can't just go walk into, well, Christianity you can, but if you want to do it right, you have to take catechism as well. I know what the Muslims do. That takes effort. Or you want to participate, you have point and purpose and agency in life, being a good engineer, a good doctor, that takes effort. A vast majority of people are just going to go basic bitch. I have value because I believe what I was told to by my K through 12 professors and teachers. And then you'll just run into that, and you'll look at me. Another way it will play out is in dating. I'm now on the final stages of doing research for this seminar, and I have to set up fake dating profile accounts. And I did plenty of fish, but there wasn't enough data there, like on politics, this or that. So I shut down. I'll have to go now. Tinder? No, not Tinder. What the hell? It's OkCupid and Match. And then Chad's showing up, and he's going to allow me to use his Tinder or Bumble profile. Going through that, you can see how it's going to immediately affect the sexes, which I'm sure all you young men are aware of. Swipe right or left. If you like Trump, swipe this way. I don't want to talk to you. If you're a conservative, you're a Republican, go away. That is definitely, it's already had that effect where feminism has just tanked marriage and birthing rates. So it already has had this. You're asking me what's going to happen. Like, it's happened. The future is now. Is there a tipping point where the lies of the woke become so pervasive that everyone is condemned to virtue signaling and struggle sessions? Yeah, we're not there. I mean, all you guys could do is just walk away and say no. Like, if my employer ever said, oh, you got to sit on this struggle session or donate, I'd be like, the fuck I do. I'm bringing a big ass lawsuit against you if you make me. But most Americans don't have a spine like that. So I'd say 10 years, something like that. We're already so close. You know, it's like this goodness. Are you good? Do you believe in the good thing we were told to believe was good? Well, you're not good. Well, you don't belong to team good. And we hate you. We can ostracize you from society. That's what it's a cult. It's a psychopathy, a nationwide psychopathy. I'd say 10 years, yeah. If resistance to woke grows and gains strength, is civil war inevitable? Maybe, I don't know. Resistance to woke grow. No, because you just don't have to participate. If they keep coming, like, give us your property, because according to this delusional cult, I'm allowed to take it. Yeah, then it will be civil. Like, once you start coming for people's houses, although Minneapolis, I guess they just rolled over there. Then again, their hands are tied because they voted Marxist to tie their hands behind you. You can't defend your property. So I don't think civil war is inevitable. I think when you just say, no, we're not doing that. Look, all you have to do, but you guys are all racked up in debt because happy wife, happy life, need an SUV, need the McMansion. Kids have to go to the most pricey school. I mean, you all get, and by the way, you still are carrying your student loan debt. Okay, you guys you're pretty much helpless. You can't do anything. But enough of you just said, yeah, I'm not showing up for work. No, I'm not. Or when you take jobs, you say, no, remember when unemployment was below 4%? That was the time. That was the time. Like, yeah, I don't do diversity training. I don't do this. I get to work from home. If you bring politics into this, I don't have to play. I mean, you could train the other sheep, but I'm not taking the class. I'm here to do work, right? I'm not here to have some fraud with a doctorate in diversity and inclusion lecture me. And then like, oh my gosh, what am I? No, I'm here to work and I'm here to go home. Now, fuck off. You guys could just say no, but my God, you guys still shop at Target and you still go to Starbucks. Why? Because it's so convenient. All right. How many of you pussy men are still getting Gillette razors, huh? How many of you? I mean, really, it's like, this is why I'm giving up. This is why I wrote enjoy the decline, because I don't see even anyone slightly putting up resistance to. Like, you should be appalled and shocked at what the American Psychological Association has said about men. You should be appalled and shocked what Gillette said about men. You should be appalled and shocked at what whatever baseball, football, basketball league says about white people. You should be pissed off. But maybe I never did anything, but maybe but I gotta have my sports ball. Bye. See, when the Marxists have their dildo and they're fucking you in the ass with it, don't complain to me. Enjoy your cattle cars. So there you go. All right. Any super chats? Nope. Saw one. Judd Grover for $2. Saying it again. Kevin McComer is my favorite troll. Hey, he pays. He pays. He's not as common. We haven't seen zero. Oh, I think that's it. All right, cool. There you go. Questions, answers, AskSoConsulting.com. I will be hiking with Atham and Chad Monday. Yes. And so Cappy's going to be a little bit sparse. Seminar on minimalism coming up September 25th through the 30th. That's the only time you can enroll. If you're interested, email me, capitalism@yahoo.com. And for those that enroll, I'm giving away Sanity is the Future of Wealth when it is published, which is all dependent upon the artists to put together a book cover. See you guys then. Toodles.